All right, guys, you are going to absolutely love this. I dug up this clip from Nobel Prize winner in economics, Milton Friedman. This is about 50 years ago. He won the Nobel Prize. Well, it's coming up for a 50-year anniversary. And this is him speaking around that time. And he's talking about legal versus illegal immigration. It's not what you are going to expect. He makes some very interesting and clear points about the economics of this whole thing, and I honestly think in Canada, this would be probably almost banned in school. Like they'd probably allow it in university, but let's just hear what he has to say. It's very interesting. And then we are going to discuss the whole thing. But wow, get ready for this.
I've always been amused by a kind of a paradox. Suppose you go around and ask people. The United States, as you know, before 1914 had completely free immigration. Anybody could get on a boat and come to these shores, and if he landed on Ellis Island, he was an immigrant. Was that a good thing or a bad thing? You will find hardly a soul who will say it was a bad thing. Almost everybody will say it was.
I'm not going to keep cutting him off, but remember, this is 50 years ago, and anybody could go to the States. And everybody back then said that was a good thing before 1914. Let's just see what happens. But think about this. And this holds so true to Canada today, you won't even believe it.
A good thing. But then I suppose I say to the same people, but now what about today? Do you think we should have free immigration? Oh, no, they'll say, we couldn't possibly have free immigration today. Why, that would flood us with immigrants from India and God knows where. We'd be driven down to a bare subsistence level. What's the difference? How can people be so inconsistent? Why is it that free immigration was a good thing before 1914 and free immigration is a bad thing today? Well, there's a sense in which that answer is right. There's a sense in which free immigration, in the same sense as we had it before 1914, is not possible today. Why not? Because it is one thing to have free immigration to jobs. It is another thing to have free immigration to welfare. And you cannot have both. If you have a welfare state, if you have a state in which every resident is promised certain minimum level of income or a minimum level of subsistence, regardless of whether he works or not, produces it or not, well, then it really is an impossible thing. If you have free immigration in the way in which we had it before 1914, everybody benefited. The people who were here benefited. The people who came benefited. Because nobody would come unless he or his family thought he would do better here than he would elsewhere. And the new immigrants provided additional resources, provided additional possibilities for the people already here. So everybody could mutually benefit. But on the other hand, if you come under circumstances where each person is entitled to a pro rata share of the pot, to take the extreme example, or even to a low level of the pot, then the effect of that situation is that free immigration would mean a reduction of everybody to the same uniform level. Of course, I'm exaggerating. It wouldn't go quite that far, but it would go in that direction. And it is that perception that leads people to adopt what at first seem like inconsistent values. Look, for example, at the obvious, immediate, practical case of illegal Mexican immigration. Now, that Mexican immigration over the border is a good thing. It's a good thing for the illegal immigrants. It's a good thing for the United States. It's a good thing for the citizens of the country. But it's only good so long as it's illegal. That's an interesting paradox to think about. Make it legal, and it's no good. Why? Because as long as it's illegal, the people who come in do not qualify for welfare. They don't qualify for Social Security. They don't qualify for all the other myriads of benefits that we pour out from our left pocket into our right pocket. And so as long as they don't qualify, they migrate to jobs. They take jobs that most residents of this country are unwilling to take. They provide employers with workers of a kind they cannot get. They're hard workers, they're good workers, and they are clearly better off. If you ever want to know what people prefer, the surest sign is how they vote with their feet. And there is no doubt how the braceros vote. They vote to cross the border with their feet, on their feet, or in any other way they can. by the thousands and perhaps millions, for all I know. It's, illegal immigration is fascinating because it shows not only the main point I'm trying to bring out now, how interconnected are the various aspects of freedom, how interconnected is the problem of governmental arrangements for welfare and governmental arrangements for immigration and other things. But it shows a very different point that's kind of a digression. And that is how bad laws make socially advantageous acts illegal, and therefore leads to an undermining of morality in general.
That is just unbelievable. I mean, the guy is basically, he's nailing it right now, the entire thing. So what is he saying? This is the least, I would say, the least racist take on immigration you can basically imagine. He said back then, back in the day, come, any single person could go to the US. Now I'm going to comment on it now. Remember, this is 50 years after he said this. So it's a lot easier to get to North America, get to Canada, right? It's not like you take a boat for 6 weeks and there's so much danger and you come only to work. You can just, like, you have a cell phone. They didn't exist back then. You're on the internet. That didn't exist. People can come so quick and so easy now. But if you're promised welfare benefits, free hotel, free food, free this and that, what does it do? It incentivizes a bunch of people to come here. Why? Because they like Canada for the nice weather? No, they want to come here because it's a great country to live. And what do they mean by that? We have a great social welfare state that we have all paid into, we have all contributed to, right? That is basically the thing. So he's saying if we take any immigrant from anywhere who has to just come here and they want to get here and it's not easy to do, and they are entitled to nothing at all. That's why I said illegal immigration in Mexico is good, because they're not entitled to anything. Of course, now they don't look at it that way. They'll just say, oh, they'll feel sorry for people and give people, you know, whatever they need. And then they can, instead of sending a postcard back to one person, they can just pump it out all over TikTok or whatever and get, people coming in droves. But that's the whole thing. If you have a welfare state, like all Western countries do to varying degrees, medical, at least emergency, social security in Canada, like our retire, what do we call it? Like the retirement that we can get, guaranteed income, old age security. There's so many things, child benefits, free school, all this stuff, right? Free medical in Canada. So because of that, it creates an incentive for people to come. We've already paid into it, everybody here. And then anyone that's coming in can just grab it for free, and it ruins the entire thing. Now, if we go later than this and layer in what Canada did, which Trudeau reversed, but we should go back, is the point system. That would be the absolute best of all worlds. You get high quality immigrants, non-racist because they're from anywhere. They pass a certain threshold, education, language, what sector job they're in, whatever, a certain amount of money they're bringing with them. So they come in, they set up shop in the country, they contribute to it. So even like they wouldn't even have had a point system back then. They had no idea, but now they can. And at the same time, you offer, other than living in a safe, clean, nice first world country, you don't get anything other than that. So that just creates people to come here, work hard, and build it up. That's very non-racist. But look what happens if you can incentivize this behavior like we have done. So he called this out 50 years ago. It's not like he was a no-name where he won the Nobel Prize in economics. I can't even imagine them playing this clip on CBC and debating it because it's just too accurate. There's nothing racist in it. All it says, though, is this is how we should view immigration if we want a wealthier, better country. Okay? And nobody can really refute any of it. Nothing in there can be refuted. And if you think you can, I would love to see it in the comments. But this should be good for every single person from anywhere. This is not mentioning singling out a country or anything. But they're going to hide it, in our media here because it's just too good of an argument. They would hate to debate this. They just want to call everybody racist and they want to say you're xenophobic, you're racist, you don't like the whole thing, but everybody doesn't like exactly what he's pointing out right here. That's what they don't like. Okay? That's it. So, anyway, love to hear your thoughts. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and sign up for our social media. We're going to be playing different clips on that soon. So, I just want to see more numbers get on there. I put all the links in the description, but hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you in the next one.